Excellence lives here in northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is presented by the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of the arts.
Thank you for tuning in to Arts Weekly. I'm Melinda Haynes with the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. In the second half of the show, we'll chat with Dan Swartz of Wunderkammer Company. But first, Elizabeth and David Mikautadze from the MIkautadze Dance Theatre are here to talk about their performance next weekend. The MIkautadze Dance Theatre is dedicated to bringing the art of professional modern and contemporary dance to Fort Wayne and the surrounding communities through dance performance and the advancement of creative movement and dance education. MTD's ultimate goal is to create a unique theatrical experience by producing work that is a synthesis of many art forms. They strive to reach this goal through collaborative efforts both within the company and with other artists. Elizabeth and David, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Well, you know, let's kind of start out. I would like to know the history of the MIkautadze Dance Theatre. It's not too terribly long, and I think that's what's very exciting about it. Tell me how you got started.
Well, we met in Boston. We were both in college, and I went to Berklee College of Music. Elizabeth went to the Boston Conservatory for dance. I studied composition and film scoring. Elizabeth studied dance performance. And Berklee and the Boston Conservatory were really close, and so our friends became friends with each other, and then we became friends, and over time we met and we started talking about art, music, dance, and we realized, wow, let's maybe sometime do something and do a project or two. And so we started working on projects while we were still in school, and then we thought, well, it'd be awesome to have a dance company in the future. And we both moved to New York. We got married. She got into dance companies in New York and continued her training. She danced with some of the great dancers in New York City. Studied at the Martha Graham School of Dance. She got into a couple of companies, the Puglisi Dance Theatre, and I was working as a composer and a musician, a guitar player in New York. And after 9/11, it was a little bit tough for two artists to live in New York, and so we decided to look for work. And Sweetwater Sound discovered me and got me out here, and we moved out here in 2003. Stuck around for a couple of years and said, wow, this is a great place to have a family. So we had our daughter Juliet, and right after that we said, you know what, I think it's time to
Now's the time.
put the dream together. And we got together with some people and some dancers, and became a MIkautadze Dance Theatre in 2008.
So the planning process, it's been kind of going on forever. I mean, collaboratively even in college, but all those years, that idea kind of fostering along.
Oh, yeah.
So what was the final, or the first, not really the final, the thing that set you in motion? Was it when you came here to Fort Wayne and you said, okay, now is the time to start living this?
I think for me it was after the birth of our daughter, realizing that we were definitely settled here, and that I no longer really had my professional dancing career, and I needed to be connected to the dance world. So I decided that, starting the company it's perfect timing. Perfect place, perfect timing.
And it's a perfect creative outlet.
Yes.
Well, tell me, what is your vision for the dance theater? Especially for here in Fort Wayne or for the region, what propels you?
One of the biggest ideas for me personally, when we first started talking about doing this company, was I was heavily inspired by the Russian ballet Rus from the early 20th century, and they kind of collaborated with a lot of musicians, artists, painters, Picasso, Matisse, Stravinsky, a lot of great composers, Debussy, Ravel, and they traveled Europe and they put on some of the greatest shows Europe saw at that time. And so for me, that was a big kind of inspiration, music and dance and art, to kind of combine those. And so that was like our early talks when we started defining this company, was collaboration.
Right.
You know, we don't do all the arts. We do our our
Maybe your
pieces.
specialty, yeah.
You know, let's find others who are awesome in their specialty and kind of bring them in, and let's just kind of put our heads together and do these large projects together.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a little video clip that I'd like to show that just kind of gives an idea to the viewer of what it is that you bring to the stage. So let's watch that for a minute. Wow, that is very diverse. I think we can see that you're not in one type of dance or another. You know, Elizabeth, what is your role in
I'm the artistic director and choreographer of the show. So and of the company, I train my dancers 3 times a week, and we work on our repertoire 3 times a week.
And so you're also choreographer. I cannot
Choreographer.
say that word tonight. I can say MIkautadze, but not choreography.
Yeah.
So that's your role. How do you go about, designing that dance piece for your shows?
Each piece, I have a little bit of a different approach, but generally speaking, up till now, usually I get my inspiration from music. So very often I'll listen to a piece of music and come up with a concept or be inspired by the phrases in the music or the passion in the music. When I'm lucky, I can listen to a piece of music and choreograph in real time and get something done really quickly, and then take the time to hone the skills and the performance quality of that piece.
At what point do you determine how many dancers are involved in the piece?
That's basically been based on the dancers that are available at the time.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm very inspired by, a certain dancer in particular, and I will create a solo role or a duet. But if I have multiple dancers, I try to use as many dancers as I can.
And knowing what their abilities are and what they're able to do. Okay, and David, your role?
Well, I do a lot in the company, basically.
Yes.
I compose. But our goal isn't for me to compose everything all the time. Right. The collaborative idea is to find composers, find other musicians to bring work to us, or we collaborate with them and help give them ideas on what we would like. And but I compose music, I find people to collaborate with, I help Elizabeth work out the details of a piece if she's working on it. We look at the score, we look at the form of a piece, the key centers, the time signatures, how it shifts and changes over time, and how that can affect her movement and her concept artistically. But I also try to find, like, for instance, I became friends with another composer, Joseph Marcello, who wrote a piece for us for this show for an 11-piece flute ensemble that I'll be conducting live during the the concert. And it's a great piece, it's a beautiful piece of music, and Ann Donner and her flute ensemble will be performing that with us.
That certainly brings another unique aspect to it. And how is it that, it's important to distinguish you as a dance theater company, or dance theater, not a dance company. Tell me a little bit about the difference between them. How do you distinguish yourself?
I would say the main difference between a true dance theater and a dance company is that we're presenting more than just dance choreography. We really want to hit the collaborative efforts strongly, and sort of one of my personal things that I like to put into my shows is that I don't like to leave the audience with a blank stage. So I try to keep the show moving and put in. We have a guest artist with us, Fernando Tarango, who is going to be singing some songs as an introduction for some of our pieces.
We try to create transitions between works. And also we read a lot, and we go to museums a lot. We get inspiration from literature and painting and art. And so we try to bring that into our performances. So like, for instance, like one of the backdrops, one of the pieces is a digital graphic design with some animation.
And so we're talking about this show, Gallery of Impressions, that's coming up.
So we try to incorporate not only dance, but of course that's the key, but then we wrap that up with spoken word and other like digital stuff, technology and animation, and of course music. And of course we'll get deeper into that as the company evolves. We want to completely become a theatrical dance organization. Right now it's like our baby steps towards that. And this show is the first step into that direction.
Well, and this is your first full-length production,
Yes.
right? So that's going to be very exciting.
It's very exciting.
And how many dancers do you have?
Currently we have 7 dancers, 3 of which are principal dancers that we've had with us pretty much since the inception in 2008.
And will you be adding more, and what's the process for adding them?
We're always looking for talented dancers and dancers that are available during our rehearsal times. And we try to hold at least 1 audition a year.
Just to add some new people from time to time. Okay, let's talk about the details. It's going to be May 17th and 18th
At 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m.
Williams Theater, IPFW.
And people can get tickets by the website. Let's see, I think we can put it up there on the screen, but it's ipfw.edu/tickets, or call the number. And you have a website as well. What is your own website?
Our website is mdtcompany.org.
Okay.
And we also have a Facebook page, of course. It's just facebook.com/mdtcompany.
Okay. So people can get information about you on Facebook and the web and come to your performance, and
Yes.
that's going to be a very exciting one.
For sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
Thank
being
you very
here
much.
today.
This is great.
While we get ready for our next segment, please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. You also can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be right back with Dan Swartz of Wunderkammer Company.